Archangel Michael has been warning you about the financial storm ahead, but you keep ignoring him. Open this now or risk losing everything you've built. The trumpet has already sounded, not from the mouth of men, but from the throne of heaven itself. And the one who sounded it is none other than Archangel Michael, the commander of angelic armies, the guardian of destiny, the enforcer of divine justice. He has not whispered, he has warned. And his warning was not vague. It was precise. It was timely. It came to you not through a headline, not through the stock market, not through the voice of your advisors, but through the stirring in your spirit. A holy unrest, a sudden unease, a divine interruption that you could not explain, yet you dismissed it. Weeks ago, you felt the atmosphere shift. You couldn't name it, but you sensed it, a trembling in the unseen. Heaven whispered, prepare, but the noise of the world drowned it out. Heaven said, withdraw, but your calendar was too full. Heaven nudged, watch the signs, but the busyness of earthly striving blinded your vision. And now, the shaking has begun. The storm is not forming, it's already moving. This is no ordinary financial disruption. This is a divine dismantling, a storm that targets idols, false dependencies, and unstable foundations. This is not a correction of markets, it is a correction of hearts. Heaven is calling you out of the system of man and into the economy of God. This is not about what you've lost. It's about what you're about to gain if you obey. But hear this clearly. Not all are chosen to receive this message. Not all have ears to hear the call. Only those marked by heaven, only those with eyes to see, will recognize this as divine communication. You are not here by accident. You are not listening by chance. If these words have found you, it's because you were summoned. To survive this storm, stillness is required. Silence is your weapon. Obedience is your shield. You will not outrun what is coming by hustling harder. You will outlast it by positioning yourself in the secret place. The storm is not your enemy. Disobedience is. And heaven will not plead again. This is the final call before the collapse. Type I hear you in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 777 has been released upon you. He is not silent. Archangel Michael, the captain of heaven's hosts, the guardian of God's remnant, the defender of divine destiny, has not stood idle. He has been moving, watching, warring, whispering, and now shouting. His sword is drawn, his wings are stretched over the chosen, and his trumpet is sounding again. Not to entertain, not to offend, but to warn. You feel it, don't you? Something isn't right. Something is moving. Something you cannot name but cannot ignore. Within the next 72 hours, the lines will be drawn. What you align with spiritually in this window will determine what survives physically in your life. The window is narrow, the hour is holy, and the storm is not approaching. It is descending. This is not just a financial trial. This is a divine disruption permitted by the Most High, and only those under the cover of obedience will stand. Archangel Michael has not come to comfort complacency. He has come to confront it. He has seen what lurks in the shadows. He has surveyed what is being plotted behind closed doors. He has heard the murmurings in high places where decisions are being made to destabilize, disarm, and dismantle the finances of the righteous. There are unseen hands moving pieces on a board you never agreed to play. There are forces aligning to drain your resources, delay your destiny, and dismantle what you've built. This is not paranoia. This is prophetic reality. The winds of chaos are rising. The shadows are whispering. And if you do not anchor now, the waves will take you with them. Why is money slipping through your fingers like sand? Why do you keep hearing the word collapse? Why does your peace vanish every time you think about the future? This is not random. This is a spiritual indicator. Your soul knows what your mind is still denying. There is an invisible shaking orchestrated by spiritual forces, and it is targeting the unguarded, the unaware, and the disobedient. But this message is not for the masses. This message is not for the lukewarm. It is not for the double-minded. It is not for those still bowing to Mammon while claiming the name of Christ. No, this message is a sealed dispatch from heaven for those marked with the oil of discernment, for the few whose names are written in the Watcher's scroll, for the called out ones, for the surrender, for the spiritually sensitive, for the warriors hidden in plain sight. To those, I say, you are being summoned to divine alignment. You are not powerless in this. You are not prey to this chaos. You are not without weapons. Archangel Michael stands not to scare you but to shield you, if you will listen. He does not move on emotion. He moves on command. And heaven's command to you now is simple. Do not delay. Do not doubt. Do not drift. Align your spirit. Reinforce your faith. Stand in silence and let the Lord fight what your words cannot fix. You are not behind. You are not forsaken. You are right on time, but only if you respond. The next 72 hours are sacred. Watch what you say. Watch what you agree to. Watch who enters your atmosphere. Watch your money, your movements, and your motives. Because while the enemy sets traps, heaven is setting timelines. Miss the moment, and you may miss the miracle. Archangel Michael's presence confirms it. The shaking has begun. But so has the shift. You will either be swept or sealed, and the choice is in your alignment. Type "I align" now in the comments if this word struck your spirit. Lesson code 444 is now activated for your household. There is a mystery unfolding beneath the surface, a silent conspiracy, veiled in financial systems, cloaked in friendly faces, hidden in fine print and false counsel. This is no longer about economics. This is no longer about markets. This is spiritual warfare disguised as financial confusion. And many are being caught unaware. You've sensed it. The betrayal. The shift. The subtle sabotage. You've watched things fall through that once flowed easily. You felt agreements go cold. Contracts break without warning. Support vanish without explanation. What once brought you peace now brings you anxiety. What once was certain now feels unstable. What? Because you're being watched, tracked, targeted. Not in the way you think, not just by people, but by powers. You've been followed in the spirit. Watch not just for what's in your bank, but for what's in your belly, your divine seed, your hidden strength, your prophetic inheritance. They've seen your fruit, but they don't understand your root. They've calculated your worth in currency, but they cannot measure your calling. And now, the enemy is attempting to choke you at the place where faith meets finances, hoping you'll curse God, abandon your post, forfeit your promise. But hear this clearly. You are not sent to bow in this season. You are sent to discern. Not every delay is demonic, but this one is. Not every shortfall is sabotage, but this one is. Not every advisor is sent by God. Some are spies sent to extract, not to edify. There are those who smiled with you in seasons of plenty who now secretly rejoice at your instability. Those who clapped when you rose now whisper as you wrestle. They offer counsel laced with confusion. They extend hands laced with control. But your spirit already knows something is off. Something is being withheld. Something is not what it seems. Why have you been so emotionally unsettled? Why has peace evaded you like a mist in the morning? Why does your heart race when you check your account, sign your name, or make a decision? It is not fear you feel. It is the pressure of prophecy. Something in your soul is detecting a disturbance in your atmosphere. Because when betrayal comes, it rarely wears the face of a stranger. It comes dressed as wisdom, as help, as favor. But its intent is to drain, to disrupt, to dismantle. And still they don't know what you carry. They cannot comprehend the authority you were born with. They cannot calculate the grace on your life. They cannot see the angels guarding your gate. They think they are playing with a person, but they are tampering with God's property. You are marked. You are watched by heaven. And even when you didn't recognize the danger, Archangel Michael saw it. He raised his sword before you knew there was a war. You were never exposed. You were always protected, even in the confusion, even in the breakdown, even in the betrayal. Your tears did not weaken you. They washed the deception off your eyes. Your instability did not disqualify you. It disrupted the enemy's map. What was meant to crush you is actually the confirmation of your anointing. The disruption is not your end. It is your distinction. You were chosen to be shaken, so you could never again be broken. Type "I carry God's fire" in the comments if this word unlocked something in you. Blessing code 611 is flowing over your name. The Spirit has spoken. This disruption isn't punishment, it's positioning. And now, if you've been stirred, if this word exposed what you've secretly been feeling, then this is your moment to take prophetic action. The word says in Proverbs 11:25, "A generous soul will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." When you sow into a message like this, you're not giving to a platform. You're sowing into breakthrough, not just for you, but for others who are crying out just like you. This is holy ground, and your seed is a weapon. Your giving unlocks rivers of truth for someone else drowning in silence. I feel it. This is a divine appointment. If this message pierced your spirit, don't scroll past. Stand with this mission. Use super thanks. Join the membership or sow a seed via PayPal. The link is in the description. This is not charity. It's spiritual strategy. Your obedience in giving becomes someone else's answer. Blessing oil 888 is now flowing over your obedience. So boldly. So prophetically. So now. Let the veil be torn off your understanding now. This is not just a financial disturbance. This is not just about bills piling up, opportunities falling through, or delayed breakthroughs. What you are facing is not just economic, it is existential. It is not just about what's in your hands. It is about who holds your future. This is not a budget issue. This is a battle over your mantle. The shaking you feel in your financial realm is merely a symptom of a deeper spiritual conflict, a war over your voice, your vision, and your God-ordained territory. You were not born to chase wealth. You were born to carry weight, a weight of destiny, a weight of kingdom authority, the weight of prophetic identity. And that weight makes you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The enemy doesn't fear your income. He fears your influence. He fears what you will build when you have no chains holding your faith hostage. He fears what will be unleashed when you are not constantly stressed, constantly surviving, constantly uncertain about tomorrow. He knows, once you're free in your finances, you'll be free in your purpose. So he attacks your finances not to empty your account, but to bankrupt your belief. The conflict is strategic. The timing is not random. You're under fire because you're under revelation. You've been awakening to the truth of your calling. You've been stepping out in faith. You've dared to believe that you're not meant to blend in, but to break through. And that boldness has triggered backlash in the spirit realm. The enemy has issued assignments against your flow, against your ideas, against your support. But the reason it's hitting so hard is because you are so close. You don't get this much warfare unless heaven has already scheduled your breakthrough. Listen carefully now. The attack is fierce because your calling is fierce. The pressure is intense because your promotion is near. What is being stirred in your finances is not a coincidence. It is a consequence of your positioning. You stepped into territory that hell hoped you'd never find. You've begun speaking what you were once afraid to admit. You've started walking like someone who knows they are chosen. And the adversary wants to distract you with lack. So you abandon your lane and forfeit your favor. But hear this, heaven has not left you unguarded. Every test has been measured. Every attack has been documented. Every moment of delay, every crushing disappointment, every time you looked up and said, "God, where are you?" It was all being recorded under divine surveillance. You have not suffered in secret. You have not cried in vain. Archangel Michael has not only seen the war, he has stood in the middle of it for you. Every time the enemy advanced, heaven blocked. Every time the door slammed shut, heaven marked the hour. This is not chaos. This is a calculated collision between heaven and hell, and you are the line in the sand. This is not about your house. It's about your heritage. It's not about your job. It's about your jurisdiction. You are more than a paycheck. You are more than a business. You are a kingdom carrier, a financial gatekeeper, a prophetic voice with power in both realms. And the reason the pressure is unrelenting is because your influence is unmatched. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is not the time to panic. Now is the time to stand still and see the salvation of your God. Heaven has not removed its eyes from you. In fact, it has intensified its gaze. The fire you are walking through has not come to destroy. It has come to refine. You're not just being tested, you're being trusted. You are not forgotten. You are fortified. Type "I refuse to break" in the comments if this word confirms your warfare. Blessing code 313 is activating around you now. The trembling in your spirit is not anxiety. The tightness in your chest, the restlessness in your sleep, the sudden wave of dread when you look at your finances. This is not emotional weakness. This is spiritual alert. You're not crazy. You're not being paranoid. You are being warned. The shaking is not in the distance anymore. It is not a far-off threat or a symbolic storm. No, the winds are already swirling. The clouds have already gathered. And whether or not you are ready, the storm has begun. This is not the kind of storm that takes shape in news headlines or economic forecasts. No, this one forms in heavenly places. It was permitted by divine instruction. It was loosed through prophetic decree. And now it seeks out everything that has not been fastened by faith. This storm will test what is real. It will expose what is hollow. It will strip away what was built on the sand of self-effort and reveal what has been anchored in the rock of obedience. You felt the shift. Don't deny it. Your discernment is not lying to you. Something has moved in the spirit realm. Conversations have changed. People have gone silent. Connections that once felt warm have grown cold. Offers that once were flowing have dried up without reason. You've noticed the discomfort, the disconnection, the delays. And somewhere deep inside, you know, this is spiritual. This is more than just a season of lack. This is not just a financial dry spell. This is a collision of kingdoms. There are people, even now, plotting shifts around you. Shifts in agreements, shifts in partnership, shifts in affairs. And you sensed it. You've overheard it in conversations that didn't seem right. You've picked it up in your spirit during interactions that felt off. It's not your imagination. There are decisions being made about you, without you. But hear me, they are not hidden from heaven. What they are whispering in closed rooms, God is shouting from the mountaintop. The watchers of heaven are not blind. There is a pressure building, and you've felt it in your soul. You've noticed how heavy your chest has become, how hard it is to focus, how easy it is to be distracted, how your mind spins with what ifs and what now. The storm is not coming for everyone, but it's coming for you because what you carry is valuable. Your mantle is expensive. Your assignment cannot be allowed to move forward without resistance. And so, the enemy has released interference. Divine assignments are being challenged by demonic interruptions. And the Spirit of God is saying, if you do not heed the warning now, everything you've built could be touched. This is not to provoke fear, it is to provoke alignment. You must treat these next few days as sacred. There are things you must not say, places you must not go, agreements you must not sign, conversations you must not entertain. You must walk circumspectly, like one walking through a battlefield, surrounded by mines. One wrong move could unravel months of progress. You are at a tipping point, and heaven is not playing. If you ignore the warning, you may survive, but you will lose what was divinely designed for your elevation. But if you listen, if you posture yourself in obedience, you will outlast this storm, and what was meant to destroy you will only reveal your divine indestructibility. The time is short. The urgency is real. The storm is here. Type "I will not ignore the warning" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 505 is covering your steps right now. Now is not the time to panic. Now is not the hour to react, retaliate, or reveal what heaven has hidden inside of you. The storm may be swirling, the threats may be real, the pressure may feel suffocating, but the divine command is clear: be still. For heaven has already taken position. The angels have drawn their swords. The hosts of the Lord are standing at attention. The battleground is surrounded by watchers from on high. And if you move ahead of heaven, you will step outside the shield that was meant to protect you. The storm was never designed to destroy you. It was designed to expose alignment. And right now, the key to your survival is not your effort. It's not your network. It's not even your planning. It is your stillness. Stillness is not passivity. It is posture. It is war done in quiet confidence. It is standing with spiritual focus when everything around you demands a carnal reaction. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. The enemy thrives off of noise, off of scattered words, off of emotionally charged decisions made in haste. But when you go silent, heaven grows loud. The enemy wants you to panic. He wants you to post out of frustration, to argue from fear, to sign agreements out of desperation, to vent your process before your protection has been fully established. But the Spirit of the Lord says, do not open your mouth unless I command it. Do not defend yourself unless I instruct you. Do not try to fix what only heaven can finish. This silence is not punishment, it is preservation. The divine strategy for this storm is not resistance, it's restraint. The reason your spirit feels like it's being pulled back is because God is pulling you under cover. You are being concealed in the secret place. You are being protected by your pause. You are being guarded by your obedience. Because what's coming next is not just a test of survival, it is a demonstration of divine sovereignty. Let your stillness be a signal to heaven. Let it be your banner of trust. When you go quiet before God, you give Him permission to go loud on your behalf. When you choose silence in the face of injustice, you release heaven's justice to go ahead of you. When you say nothing to man, the voice of God becomes thunder to your enemies. The moment you retreat into the presence of the Lord is the moment your victory becomes inevitable. There is a covering over you, but it only holds if you remain under it. Step out of alignment, and you expose yourself. But stay under obedience, and you become untouchable. Yes, weapons may form. Yes, words may rise. Yes, threats may intensify. But none of them can penetrate the covering that has been stretched over the obedient. You are not unguarded. You are not abandoned. You are not walking through this battle alone. Archangel Michael has surrounded your house. The watchers of heaven have sealed your borders. Every access point to your vulnerability has been closed. But your silence is the key that locks the gates. This is your charge. Go still. Go silent. Go hidden. Guard your atmosphere. Guard your access. Guard your assignment. Let no unauthorized voice enter your space. And as you stay in the secret place, the host of heaven will do what you cannot. They will confuse the enemy's camp. They will dismantle hidden plots. They will cancel what was being negotiated behind your back. You are covered. You are watched. You are guided. Let no one convince you otherwise. The safest place in the storm is not behind a strategy. It's beneath the shadow of the Almighty. Type "I will be still" in the comments if you know this word was for you. Blessing code 911 has been released to cover you with divine protection. There comes a moment in every storm where fear must bow to identity. That moment is now. You've been pressed. You've been shaken. You've been surrounded by confusion. But none of it was meant to bury you. It was sent to build you. The enemy hoped to silence you through pressure. He hoped to shame you into retreat. But he forgot something crucial. You were not made of paper. You were forged in fire. What has come against you is real, but so is what's inside of you. And what is within you is far greater than the winds raging around you. This is your reminder. You are not a victim of this storm. You are the storm's assignment. The same fire that threatened to consume you is the fire that will reveal you. The same winds that tried to scatter you are the winds you will rise on. What was supposed to break you has only exposed what could not be broken. You're still here. You're still listening. That means the attack has failed. That means the storm did not win. That means you were built for this battle. You are not in survival mode. You are in refinement mode. Heaven is purifying your intentions, stripping away the distractions, burning off the excess. And every moment you feel the flames licking at your feet, remember, gold does not scream in the fire, it shines. You are gold. You are oil. You are chosen. And pressure does not diminish your value, it proves it. Archangel Michael has not drawn his sword to protect something ordinary. No, he has drawn his sword because what's on your life carries weight in eternity. You are being guarded not just because of what you carry now, but because of what you're about to step into. The storm isn't chasing you, it's chasing the next version of you. The one who walks in boldness. The one who releases provision. The one who governs wealth and kingdom resources without fear, without apology, without compromise. What looked like loss was actually the loosening of what couldn't go with you. What felt like rejection was actually redirection. What appeared to be delay was divine disguise. God was hiding you in the wilderness so you could be revealed in the fullness of your glory. You're not going under. You're being called up. Your wings were not given to you for decoration. They were for you for resistance. The higher you rise, the stronger the wind. And yet, here you are, rising still. Let the wind come. Let the pressure rise. You were not designed to flutter in calm air. You were born to soar in storms. The enemy made one fatal mistake. He thought your silence was surrender. He thought your retreat was collapse. But he didn't know you were gathering strength in the secret place. You were gripping in word. You were reloading in prayer. And now, your stillness is turning into strategy. Your tears are becoming tools. Your pain is becoming power. What hell tried to use to stop you is now becoming the very thing heaven uses to launch you. You are not beneath the storm. You are above it. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being unleashed. The fire cannot burn what has already been baptized in the Spirit. The winds cannot shake what has already been grounded in purpose. You are not the weak link. You are the one the gates of hell were hoping would stay asleep. But now you are awake. You are rising. You are moving in authority. And nothing will ever be the same. Type "I was forged for this" in the comments if you know this word has awakened your strength. Blessing code 848 is now pouring down over your life. Listen closely, for now heaven speaks with clarity. The storm that came was never sent to destroy you, it was sent to reposition you. You were never in danger of losing what belonged to you. You were in danger of staying bound to what no longer did. And so, heaven allowed the shaking, the disruption, the divine disturbance, not to curse you, but to call you out of the place you settled into. What looked like collapse was actually the voice of heaven saying, "Come up higher." This is the part no one talks about, when divine promotion feels like divine punishment, when advancement comes dressed like loss, when favor enters through the door of fire. But hear me, the reason you've been uncomfortable is because you've outgrown the last level. The reason you've been agitated is because the next realm is calling your name, and heaven would not allow you to be caged by what once comforted you. The shaking wasn't just allowed, it was orchestrated. Yes, it hit your finances. Yes, it disrupted your peace. But that was only the surface level shaking. Beneath that, God was shifting foundations, tearing up old roots, breaking old agreements, exposing false alignments, and carving out space for the new. Because new streams are opening, new provisions are forming, new oil is being released. But the old container could not carry what heaven was about to pour. Your name has been on heaven's scroll for this moment. Your obedience has triggered a divine unlocking. What others lost in the shaking, you will gain in the reordering. What others panicked over, you will prosper from. The drought that others feared is the doorway through which you will discover hidden wells. This storm was not random. This pressure was not punishment. It was placement. It was the holy hand of God ensuring you were no longer tethered to systems that could not sustain your calling. What you didn't realize is that your financial battle had little to do with numbers. It had everything to do with narrative. Heaven has rewritten the narrative of your life. You were never called to strive. You were never designed to survive paycheck to paycheck, fear to fear, begging for provision. You are not a spiritual beggar. You are a kingdom heir. You are not an orphan in the spirit. You are sealed by the spirit of adoption. And because of that identity, heaven has decided to shift your structure. And now, hear the word of the Lord. New streams are being loosed in your direction. Unexpected provision. Uncommon favor. Doors that others were locked out of, opening for you. Not because of who you know, not because of what you've earned, but because of who you are. Chosen. Locked. Set. This storm came because of your name. And the enemy knew if he could stop you now, he could delay generations after you. But he failed. And now your unlocking has begun. What you thought was gone is returning in new form. What you thought was delayed is arriving right on time. What you thought would never happen is already being constructed behind the veil. All you have to do now is stay postured. Stay positioned. Heaven has not forgotten you. It had been strategizing for you all along. You were never losing. You were being loosed. I received the shift in the comments if this word spoke directly to your moment. Lesson code 717 is unlocking new streams over your house. If this moment of revelation stirred something in you, then you already know. This isn't just a word, it's a divine summons. And I feel this deeply. There are people watching right now who have been sustained by prophetic words like this. If this ministry has been a stream of fresh water in your wilderness, this is your moment to sow back into the flow. For the word declares in Galatians 6:6, "Let the one who receives instruction in the word share all good things with their teacher." When you give, you're not just supporting content, you're fueling prophetic deliverance for others still waiting on their word. This is how heaven multiplies the reach. If this message became a mirror for your spirit today, partner with us. Activate your faith by sowing into the soil that just gave you revelation. Use super thanks. Join the membership, or sow through PayPal. The link is right there in the description. This seed is not a donation. It's a declaration. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding every giver with divine supply. Step into this moment. Sow boldly. Watch God move. There comes a moment in every divine assignment where heaven stops speaking and waits for your response. Not a passive agreement, not a silent nod, but a verbal, spiritual, and prophetic yes. That moment is now. You've been warned. You've been shaken. You've been preserved. You've been refined. But none of it matters. Not the storm, not the sword, not even the shaking, unless you rise now and say yes to the calling that this fire has been preparing you for. Heaven is not confused about you. The throne of God has already released your identity. The angels already know your name. The battle you've walked through was never about if you were chosen. It was about whether you would choose back. God is not forcing you. He is inviting you. This is your turning point. I'm motivational mode. Not just an emotional response. This is the birthing room of destiny. And I must say this with holy fire. If you delay your yes, you delay your release. If you wait until it's comfortable, you will miss the move. If you hesitate until you have clarity, you will forfeit what was meant to be received in faith. The Spirit of God is saying, now. Speak now. Line now. Declare your agreement while the heavens are still open. Don't let silence be your answer. Don't let fear write your response. Your yes doesn't just shift your life, it activates your authority. You were not brought through the storm just to survive. You were brought through it so you could reign. This is not about simply coming out with your sanity. This is about stepping into your seat. The seat of the called, the seat of the trusted, the seat of the anointed. And you must choose it. You must say yes when it doesn't make sense. You must say yes when your bank account says no. You must say yes when the enemy whispers doubt. Because your yes is the seed from which every future miracle will bloom. Stop waiting to feel qualified. Your scars already qualified you. Stop waiting for perfect timing. The shaking already aligned the time. Stop wondering if you're too late. If you were too late, this message would never have found you. The storm was not your ending. It was your opening. The silence was not absence. It was strategy. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. And now you stand on the threshold of your next dimension. And this part is critical. Your activation doesn't begin with action. It begins with alignment. When your spirit aligns, your footsteps follow. When your words align, your doors open. When your faith aligns, your flow is restored. That's why the warfare was so heavy around your voice. Because the enemy knew that once you speak, heaven moves. Once you declare, the atmosphere shifts. Once you decree, the angels descend with divine orders. This is not the end. This is not the fall. This is not the conclusion of your story. This is the ignition, the beginning of a new flow, the activation of hidden gifts, the unlocking of supernatural resources. What once resisted you will now recognize you. What once oppressed you will now obey you. And what once intimidated you will now bow to the authority you carry. Heaven waits for your agreement. Don't withhold it. Don't hesitate. Declare it now. In the Spirit. With your mouth. With your actions. Let every force in hell know you're not coming out of the storm empty. You're coming out empowered. Type "I say yes to my calling" in the comments if you know this word was for you. Blessing code 000 is now activating divine momentum in your life. There is a realm you cannot see, yet it has seen everything concerning you. While you wrestled with loss in the natural, there was a silent exchange happening in the spirit. The tears you wept alone were not discarded. They were collected. The prayers you whispered under breath, the groans that had no words, the sighs that echoed through sleepless nights, all of them were heard and recorded. And while the world moved on, heaven stood still to respond. You thought what was taken from you would never return. You thought the moments missed, the finances lost, the opportunities were unrecoverable. But listen now, nothing is truly lost in the kingdom. What is surrendered in obedience is never wasted. What is stolen under pressure is always reclaimed under divine authority. The enemy has made you feel like you were emptying. But in the secret place, in the silent chambers of the unseen realm, a transaction had been unfolding. While you were sleeping, angels were negotiating. While you were breaking, heaven was building. While you were crying, the Spirit was interceding. What the enemy thought he could take, heaven is already returning sevenfold, not always in the form it left, but always in the form it was meant to become. This is the beauty of divine justice. It doesn't just give you back what was stolen. It gives you better than what was lost. There are things being handed to you now that money cannot buy. Peace you thought you'd never feel again. Strength you didn't know you carried. Insight that no degree could teach. Favor that makes no sense in human terms. These are the fruits of the silent exchange. The reward for standing when you could have fled. The evidence that what you lost did not define you. It refined you. Many who watched you fall never stayed long enough to watch you rise. But heaven never turned its eyes from you. Archangel Michael did not leave his post. The sword was never lowered. The watch never ended. And now, the alarm in heaven has silenced, not because the storm is over, but because the assignment has shifted. You are no longer in survival. You are stepping into restoration. This restoration is not loud. It does not come with fireworks. It comes quietly yet powerfully. One door opens where there was once none. One connection reaches out. One solution appears that was hidden before. Little by little, the evidence of heaven's exchange begins to take shape. Not through striving, not through struggle, but through stillness, through surrender, through silent trust. This is the part you must not miss. The enemy can only steal what you give voice to too soon. That's why the Holy Spirit commanded your silence. Because what was being transacted in the Spirit could not survive the contamination of human interpretation. You were told to hold your tongue not because God didn't care, but because what he was doing was too holy to expose prematurely. Now, the exchange is complete. Now, the angels are releasing what they've been holding. Now, what was once a loss is being repackaged as a launch. You are stepping into a season of divine returns. Not just double, not just restored, but recalibrated for destiny. What was meant to break your rhythm has only aligned you with heaven's beat. You are not empty. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. The silence of the past season was not abandonment. It was strategy. And now the gates are opening. The flow is returning. The favor is falling. Type I receive the divine exchange in the comments if this word spoke into your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over everything you lost. There is a justice that cannot be legislated by man. It does not submit to earthly systems or corrupt hands. This justice flows directly from the throne of God, and it does not miss a single detail. It watches every betrayal. It records every theft. It marks every word spoken in secret, every plot crafted in darkness, and every hand lifted in rebellion against the righteous. And now, hear this, that justice is in motion. The scales of heaven are shifting, and they are tipping in your favor. What the enemy meant as sabotage, God is now using as stage setting. What they plotted behind your back is being dragged into the open. Every hidden motive is being exposed. Every false alliance is being severed, and every delay is being reversed with divine acceleration. The enemy did not just attack your finances. He interfered with your assignment. He disrupted timelines that heaven had authorized. And now, God is not just restoring, He is avenging. You may not have seen it yet, but it has already begun. The very trap they laid for you will become the pit they fall into. Those who mocked you in your shaking will witness your rising. What they thought would destroy you will declare your dominion. This is not petty revenge. This is holy reversal. Divine justice does not operate out of bitterness. It flows from righteousness. And when God moves in justice, nothing and no one can escape the weight of His verdict. Yes, debts are being canceled. Not just financial, but spiritual. The debt of peace you lost. Emotional deficit from trusting the wrong ones. The energy drained by disappointment. The hidden toll of walking in honor when dishonor surrounded you. Heaven has seen it all. And now, the boats are being balanced. You were never foolish for standing in integrity. You were never weak for choosing silence. You were wise, and now wisdom's reward is coming swiftly. God is not only reversing the damage, He's reversing the reputation. Some who labeled you unstable will have to call you elevated. Some who counted you out will be counted on to witness your comeback. You will not have to defend yourself. You will not have to explain how you made it. The same mouths that whispered in secret will testify in public. The glory of the reversal will be so loud that even your enemies will have to admit, surely the hand of the Lord has done this. And listen, this reversal is generational. The curse that tried to claim your bloodline ends with you. The cycles of lack, loss, fear, and frustration are being confronted by the angelic order assigned to your house. You are not just breaking through, you are breaking off every familiar yoke that lingered too long. Your obedience has unlocked a bloodline breakthrough. This is not just about your life. It's about those who will come after you. Your children will not fight the wars you had to survive, because what you endured is now becoming their inheritance. The enemy will regret ever touching your finances. He will regret ever attacking your peace, because heaven has released a reversal so specific, so strategic, so supernatural, that it will haunt the kingdom of darkness. This is the kind of justice that writes stories, the kind that reintroduces you as the anointed one, not the afflicted one. You will not chase vindication. Vindication is chasing you. You will not have to force your way back to the top. The throne is being prepared for your return. The storm tried to erase your name. Heaven is engraving it in places of power. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if this confirms what you've been sensing. Lesson code 4411 is activating divine reversal over your entire house. Now breathe. Not because the war is over, but because the assignment is complete. Heaven has spoken. The sword of Archangel Michael has been drawn and returned to its sheath. The trumpet has sounded. The scroll has been read. The wind that once screamed warnings has now shifted into the calm of clarity. You, beloved, have endured the storm. And you didn't just survive it, you were transformed by it. This warning was never sent to frighten you. It was sent to fortify you. Heaven didn't shout to intimidate you. Heaven shouted to awaken you. For too long, you've walked with questions weighing your steps. For too long, you've tried to carry your own protection, manage your own provision, and defend your own name. But now, the final word is this: you are sealed, you are seen, and you are sent. Nothing the enemy formed against you will prevail. What was assigned to destroy your foundation has been used to anchor your faith. What tried to break your mind has only enlarged your vision. What was supposed to bankrupt your spirit has only taught you the currency of the kingdom. And now, you walk out of this moment with divine endorsement stamped across your destiny. The financial storm may still blow in the earth, but you will no longer be shaken by it. You are not under that system anymore. You are not ruled by that fear anymore. You are governed by heaven. You operate under divine economy, supernatural order, and prophetic alignment. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the grave is the same Spirit sustaining you through this transition. You do not have to figure it all out. You only have to obey. Your yes activated heaven's favor, and now favor will follow you, overtake you, and establish you in places you never qualified for by men's standards. Walk now in peace. Let the fire settle in your bones. Let the roar of this revelation echo through your atmosphere. You are covered. You are kept. You are crowned. And no demon, no downturn, no disruption will ever have dominion over what heaven has established inside of you. This is your time. This is your turn. This is your territory. Walk it like one who has survived the sword, weathered the storm, and been called by name in the throne room of the Most High. From this moment forward, nothing can uproot what heaven has planted in you. Not fear, not loss, not delay, because the seal has been set and the oil has been poured. Type "I am sealed" for victory in the comments if you receive this final affirmation. Blessing code 1555 is now wrapping you in angelic covering for this next season. Now that you've received this word, not just heard it, but felt it in your bones, Take a moment and let it settle. Let the fire of heaven seal what was just spoken into your life. If this prophetic message ignited your spirit, and you know God used it to bring clarity, courage, and confirmation, then hear this divine invitation. Help us send this word to others who are still lost in the storm. Isaiah 55:11 says, "My word will not return to me void, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." Your giving ensures that purpose is fulfilled, not just in your life, but in thousands of others. This isn't a donation. It's a divine echo, a holy release, a weaponized seed that sends this message into more lives ready to break free. If you've been blessed by this ministry, now is the time to act. Click Super Thanks, join the membership, or sow into this prophetic fire through PayPal. The link is in the video description. Don't delay. Giving now is alignment, is obedience, and heaven rewards obedience with overflow. Blessing code 3003 is now resting over every obedient giver. Let your support be a signal to heaven. I received, and I release. Walk boldly, so boldly. Be the reason someone else receives a word in due season.